and rear yard setback for the installation of an accessory structure over 100 square feet in area. Is the applicant here tonight? Yes.
My name is Jeremy Graham, 40 Henry Street.
I'm his mother, Nancy. I did a lot of the paperwork, so I'm just here as, I do have some other papers I wanted to hand out. I didn't have them into the original papers, but I made 10 copies. So I don't know if you want to pass them down or you want me to just pass them out.
Thank you.
Nancy, what's your last name?
Graham.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
I don't know, I got 10 copies of it, and what I do. Or it's just like going to the zoning thing. Kathy always told me to do 10 copies.
Yeah.
So you want to do this?
I think you can. Thank you. Let's do 2 letters of support for the project.
Yeah, if you want to have the applicant say what he wants to do first. Sure.
Okay, what I'm looking for is to move. The back property is very small and it's got limited space. There's an existing driveway there. Well, I wanted to put a 10 by 20 shed in, but like I said, the whole lot I think is 50 foot wide. So I'm looking to go 5 feet off the side so I can make it parallel with my driveway. So when you're looking down the driveway, it actually looks like it, and it's actually set the front of it right on the driveway itself. So I'm looking to get approximately 5 somewhere in there so I could get that centered to exactly where my driveway is. And as well as the backside too, I'd like to get as much as I could just to push it back, because there's an area that's about from the driveway to the back fence approximately about 20 feet, 25 feet. So I'd like as much as I could. I mean, I'm compromised about it, but
I have a picture if you want to look at it.
That would be great, because I don't think there wasn't a site plan submitted, it's just yours.
Oh, I thought-
So, like showing where.
Well, we did the,
It doesn't say where the shed is going to be though.
Right. Yes.
there's actually a couple.
just like half here and half back here, so it's just centered on the existing driveway.
Here's another one. That was
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
good too. Oh, they want them all.
Oh, okay.
So where the swing set is now.
Yeah, basically, yeah. The kids are older.
Can we keep these pictures or not?
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry to make out 10 of those,
No,
but
no, not necessary, thank you.
But as you can see by the picture, 10 feet off would puts it approximately 2 feet into the blacktop. So if you look down the driveway, it'd be kicked to the side. I just basically, like I said, I want to put it straight back. There goes the shed, you know what I mean? So you look at it, ain't all cockeyed and crooked looking.
in the kit, we can put all his, just for storage, just so he can put his lawnmower and stuff, make it more neat, so it has good aesthetics. But it is a small lot, that's the problem, it's only 50 foot wide, which is, well, about the size of this.
It's one of the more narrow ones on the street, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a lot of double lots. Man, I wish I had one, I tell you.
yeah. I did drive by the site. It is a narrow lot compared to some of the other lots on the street. In my opinion, anyway, it doesn't appear that structure will really change the character of the streets either. Saw a couple other similar, I imagine would be similar structures on other properties. So.
Yeah, quite a few of my neighbors got them as well. Everyone's got them for like set lawnmowers, chainsaws, or. But basically, the whole lot is, I got a fence, and it's about, like I said, 5-6 feet to the blacktop, the house, and then maybe 10 feet of grass on the other side, and that's the whole lot. So there isn't much room.
discussion?
Well, we have the letters from your neighbors. Does this affect the people at 42? Or is it really just, it's against the side of 38, right?
Yeah, it'd be the side of 38, but they got a notice as well. So I figured, well, I speak to them. I mean, they both, I know them both well, and it'd affect more 38 more so.
Okay, they're cool with it.
Yeah, they're great neighbors.
Do we want to talk about the letter that came in?
Yes. We have to.
I do.
I have to, here, you want me to read it?
Yeah.
You want to read it?
Sure. So the chairman of the board, Jeff Perner, received an email. It's dated today's date. Jeff, thanks for getting back to me. Unfortunately, I will not be able to make your meeting. If you could relay my concerns to the rest of the board, it would be greatly, it would be appreciated. A few years ago, we bought a lot that borders the rear of Jeremy Graham's property. We cleaned it, removed the garbage and tires thrown onto the property, also cut down all of the overgrown vines and trees. Once finished and surveyed, we found that Jeremy rear fence and part of the shed he has were over the property line. Jeremy refused them and still will not address the issue. We will be building on that property in the future, and this building should not be that close to the property line. With that said, I'm against granting a variance to Jeremy Graham to put a 200 square foot, over 10 foot tall building any closer than the approved 10-foot setback. Any questions, please call me, Hans Hansen, and this phone number.
We're not surprised. We tried being reasonable. We offered them. I mean, we each had a survey. We used Van Dusen and Steve's, which if you see, because I gave you all copies of them, it's I can't remember now what it is, 18 inches or 20 to nothing. It crosses right in the middle of the fence. But the fence has been there for 40 plus years. It's been cemented in the ground. But we're not really worried about front to back. We could keep it 10, we're willing to compromise, but so we're willing to compromise. Keep it 10 feet from the back. It's just the side to side, which we need on 38, which they don't care. The neighbors are great on either side.
If you are able to come forward 10 foot, to 10 foot, I think that would be nice.
Yeah, that was something we knew we figured we'd actually see him here. But the same thing they said, I know the same court of law or anything else. So you have a property dispute, two surveys are saying different things. I know it ain't to you guys to decide. So that's basically what we were thinking as well, is we could keep it to 10 feet off, but I'm more worried about, like I said, towards the 38 side.
Side to side, more than front and back.
I mean, I'm not here
If
to,
you supplied this map, can you show the board where on the map you want to put the shed?
I think it's right where the X is.
I put a little star there.
Oh, okay.
What are you talking about?
It would be a good some.
yeah, it's gonna be right here. I want to put it right directly off this driveway.
That's right. Is it?
So how, from the,
I want to put it directly right off this,
Yeah.
just like that.
I'm listening to you.
so from the end of the driveway to the back
This is about
property
8
line?
feet from here to here.
Five.
I like 5, just in case, I don't want to say 8 down, that's all, but I should have said 7, you know what I mean? I'd rather have 5. I just want to put it straight right to that.
Centered.
So the question is, how many feet are from the back of the shed once it's placed to the property line?
We can make it 10 feet.
Yeah, so it would have,
These are your rear yard setback variance.
No, we wanted it just in case, one way or another, but we figured that,
we would basically like to, in case when we get building it, it's where we put it. Like I said, I don't want to ask you guys for one thing and then have to come back because I messed up over 2 feet. I'd rather have that and say, okay, I'll put it here, instead of coming back a couple times and asking. I'd rather just have your guys' say first and then go from there.
yeah, so from where our survey shows half the fence is on Jeremy's property completely, we want to go 10 feet to the back of the shed. That should keep them happy.
Yeah, what threw me off is in the application, it says 25 feet for the rear yard. So if you only need 10 in the first place, then
Yeah, it seemed quite substantial.
If you look at
Did I mess the paperwork up and say 25 feet or something?
Yeah, Justin's looking.
See, the only reason why I wanted to push that back as far as I could is because if you look at the drawing, there's a pull-off spot in there. When you back, if you try to back up, you don't want to have the shed too close and have my wife hit it or something like that. So I'd like to have it back as much as I could so you can still use that spot good.
Turn around spot.
So it is 10 feet for side and rear.
Could I get you to show me where on the map this is going to go?
Yeah, absolutely. So go right straight.
You want me here?
No, I'll go right. I want to put it directly right on this thing right here.
Here?
Yeah, straight back 10 feet from here.
Great.
I guess I should have drawn a little building where it was. I didn't even think of that. I don't know. It was so much paperwork, it's just blowing my mind.
Like a model of it, that would be great.
So it's gonna be right here.
Okay. In here.
Yeah, it's gonna be right against it. Yeah, it's what I actually, yeah, it's actually like along the blacktop. But like I said, the only reason why I really need that is because you see this pull-out spot. And you're back in, and I don't want, you know,
So we're looking at something.
something like that. It'll keep it 10 feet off the back too long. And it's just right here, it's like I said, it's 8 feet or so. That's why I asked 5 feet, I gotta kick an extra foot or something. I don't want to come back and, you know, see you guys over a foot or something.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
And these two sheds that are shown on the survey, those are they there?
Well, one's a tarp shed that is gonna go down. It kind of had its last days. The other one is a little bit better, but it's seen better days. But right now, he just wants to keep like his snow blower in there for the winter.
That one may eventually go as well. We're just gonna see, you know, what we got as far as space goes, because it's gonna be a much larger one if I could. I'd like to take that and take it over to my mother's house where she could put some of her stuff in it. And
Yeah, that'll work.
Any further discussion from the board?
With respect to seeker, I would classify this as a type 2 action as it involves construction of an accessory structure under 4,000 square feet and does not involve a use variance. And it's also the granting of an area variance for a single, 2-family, or 3-family residence. Therefore, no further action is required with respect to seeker.
So I'd like to make a motion to deny the request for the rear yard setback since the applicant has stated that they will maintain that 10-foot requirement and approve a 5-yard side yard, which is a
5-foot.
5-foot relief from.
perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate
We just
it.
need to vote first.
Oh,
Do you want to state the criteria for your area variance? That's okay.
Okay, for an area variance, it appears that this would be would not create an undesirable change to the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties. The benefits sought by the applicant cannot be achieved by some other feasible method, given the size, the narrowness of the lot. The variance is not substantial. The granting of this variance will not have an adverse effect or impact on the physical and environmental conditions in the neighborhood or the district. And this does not appear to be a self-created hardship. Second?
I'll second.
All in favor? No. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
So you have a setback for the variance for 5 feet, side yard only closest to 38 Henry. Your rear, you must maintain the 10 feet.
all right, to the fence that's cemented in the ground.
Property line.
Right,
Good property.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Perfect.
Properties on that fence.
You're okay with that?
Oh, yeah, that's absolutely fine. Yeah.
Property line, not fence.
Right,
I appreciate it, you guys.
okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right, thank you guys. Have a good day.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, our second agenda item is area variance 23-0002. Patricia Briley and Francine, excuse me. Atman. Patrick Riley and Francine Chi, owners of tax map parcel 303-13-4-13, commonly known as 107 Cooper Street. We are seeking an area variance for relief from the minimum required front yard setback for the construction of an addition to the single-family home located on this property. Describe your request, please, or state your name.
Patrick Riley.
And Francine Chichi.
Give us a little description of your request.
Sure. We want to make an addition on the side of our house. I think it's under 200 square feet for a mudroom and half bath. The setback on the side of the house, because it's a corner lot, is 15 feet. We would like a variance to make that 13 feet so that the addition is wide enough to have a feasible space for a half bath and
Laundry.
laundry room as well, and the mudroom. Let's see what else. It's towards, I feel like one of the concerns for the corner lot having a 15-foot setback is potential danger to drivers and pedestrians who are crossing the street. This is towards the rear of the house, if you look at the site map. And so it really should not affect the sight lines of any traffic or pedestrians near the corner. We could have potentially put it on the back of the rear of the house. However, we do have a deck back there and a Bilco door. And the house would also probably be, it's kind of long already. We don't want to make it too long.
It's a monstrosity.
It could be, it could be seen as less aesthetically pleasing. I think that's all.
So you're looking for relief of about 2 feet.
2 feet, that's correct.
Okay.
It's a nice lot. Joe.
Yeah,
Which we had more grass.
yeah, we're gonna get more grass.
Just not a lot of trees though. did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did.
Oh, that's nice. Open it up.
Any more discussions or questions?
Now to the seeker. With respect to seeker, I would classify this as a type 2. It appears that the applicant is 192 square feet. It is construction or expansion of a primary residence involving less than 4,000 square feet and does not involve a use variance. And also the second criteria for a type 2, it's the granting of an area variance for a single, 2-family, or 3-family residence. Therefore, no further action is required by this board.
In terms of the balancing test for that area variance, it does not appear that this request will create an undesirable change, which will change the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties. Doesn't appear that the benefit sought by this applicant can be achieved in some other feasible method, given the uniqueness of the lot and the structure. This variance is not substantial. The proposed variance will not have an adverse impact on the physical and environmental conditions in the neighborhood. And while this alleged difficulty may have been self-created, it will not preclude granting this area variance. I would make a motion to grant
Any public comment?
Oh, we have any public comments? No. No, I don't think we received any letters.
We did not.
No.
I felt
So you've made a motion to approve a 2-foot area variance.
I make a motion to approve to relief from the front yard setback of 2 feet for this.
I'll second.
Because you got 2 from,
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And our final item tonight is a use variance 23-001 for Janet D'Amato on behalf of David Every, owner of tax map number 309-12-1-18, commonly known as 11.5 First Street. The applicant is seeking a use variance to continue the current multifamily use where only single and 2-family residential uses are allowed. Please state your name for the record.
Janet Demano.
Could you describe this request for us, please?
It's a use variance to allow the continued use of 4 units in a building that's been used as a 4 apartment building for decades. The property is for sale. I'm the listing broker. And it was required that we ask for the use variance in order for the sale to go forward. And so that's going through the process. And in the meantime, the buyer backed out because they didn't want to wait. So, and interest rates kept going up. So,
Is the intention to leave it as 4 units?
yes.
Is it staying in the family?
No, the only remaining member of the family is the person who lives out of the area and isn't going to be keeping the property because
Is that David?
they,
So are there 4 families already living in this
Mhm.
area? So potentially, if we were to not deny this, they would have to be evicted because it would no longer be 4 family. I, for one, would not feel good about that.
I certainly support its adaptive reuses of properties such as this. We do need more housing. I don't necessarily think that this is the vehicle which to achieve this, your request. And there is something called the letter of zoning compliance that may be more appropriate. Oftentimes that is received from cities in lieu to, it just ensures that the property was created legally. It's my opinion that that would be more appropriate. I'm not sure where that ended. I know that Kathy had been.
I don't think Kathy felt comfortable doing it, and the building codes director suggested this might be the proper avenue, right?
that's where the advice came from was,
Yes.
yeah.
So, at the sake of my board and to tell you, a use variance is much more strict of a review than area variance, as the other 2 applicants were tonight. In my opinion, this application is not complete for us to make a review for a use variance. It does require us to see that we would need to see like dollars and cents proof that the granting of this variance is necessary in order to realize a reasonable return. And that means really show that any other use that is allowed here would not allow me to sell the structure. Whether it's a self-created hardship.
You're saying it is?
I'm just saying that these are questions that need to be answered.
Oh,
a
you said,
little more.
I didn't know if you said,
Yeah.
is this a
Yeah,
self-created?
so there are
This
4
is.
questions. So that's the first. Is the granting of this variance necessary in order to realize a reasonable return? And lack of is substantial and as demonstrated by competent financial evidence set forth herein. I don't believe you received any of that documentation.
What is, exactly do you need?
Showing that any other use allowed in this district, meaning single family and 2 family, would not produce a reasonable return.
Yeah, the use variance is a very high hurdle, the economic that is required.
Okay. I mean, I can say simply that the house is on the market because there are debts against the property that without the sale of it, the person who is deceased has a lien against them with the IRS that builds daily, and some sort of property equity loan with Rocket Mortgage left behind, so.
Right. I understand that's not exactly what they're looking for.
Right, I do too, but I,
Want to say no to this stuff.
I've got a question. So I actually spent quite a big chunk of my life in the fifth, well, what would have been known as the Fifth Ward
Mhm.
when I was a child, and now, though, and that property has been that way for 30 years.
decades, the
Okay,
information
so
that I
as a
submitted,
kid, I
yeah,
was just-
goes way back.
When were the zoning laws in the city established?
1967 was the first zoning provisions for the city of Glens Falls. then they were revised, and it looks like 2001.
So 1928.
Was this, was the zoning, where this particular property located, was this changed at all in the initial rendition of the zoning laws compared to the early
I
2000s?
don't know the answer to that, and the applicant hasn't provided that. I would have to see if we could get a copy of the 1967. Our code references this local law repealed the former zoning provisions for the city of Glens Falls adopted September 6, 1967 as amended. The enabling law for cities and home rule to adopt zoning predates that. But we may have to do a little more research into the 1967 code.
Do you have a more firm date of when this conversion took place?
I only know that, that it was a pharmacy in the past. It was called Leonard's Pharmacy, and that
Yeah.
was Leonard Every was the name of the pharmacist.
Yeah, he
A
was
family
on
member.
Second Street or First Street, I think?
None of them are living now.
Yeah,
So it's been commercial property.
yeah,
And it's right across the street from C1,
yeah.
being Spring Street, where the parking lot to the former Adirondack Radiology Building is.
Well, and if it was a pharmacy, it was not a permitted use even then, right? I mean, your two-family residential district, the permitted principal uses are single-family, two-family dwellings, public schools, public parks, public playgrounds, and other public recreational facilities. Permitted accessory uses, non-commercial greenhouses,
Grocery?
No, it's not in here.
Because what I had already provided has to do with city directory
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
and assessment rolls,
Yeah.
where it does have, going back to 1915, a grocery store, and then one resident. When the Everys had the pharmacy, the couple and their two children lived behind the pharmacy in an apartment, and there were one or two other apartments upstairs. So in this assessment information and the directories, which I get a real kick out of, how we used to keep track of the city directories, who lived there and what they did for a living. But anyway, it shows in 1955 to 62, pharmacy and 2 residents, meaning 2 units, I think. And then 64, pharmacy and 5 spots with it. I don't know about that. And then 66, pharmacy and 2 residents. In 1972 and 73, it was 3 units with residents. And then I don't know what happened in 1981. It doesn't even show up. 11 and a half is missing. So I think maybe in the old days, Spring Street may have been where 11 was, a building called 11 First Street or something. I don't know how it became 11 and a half, but I don't think you guys cared about that either.
On this one document you supplied, it said 11 Adirondack Restaurant, and it says Spring Ends, and then it says 11 and a half. So,
Don't ask me. But the pharmacy was closed when Leonard Every became ill, and they changed that into an apartment. No one can say, if he went to the city and said, I want to make this pharmacy unit into an apartment. If David were here, he would say, I can't believe my father wouldn't have done it the right way. But no one has any records, so it's hard to prove.
I think that was our code officer. Now, when he sent the letter of determination to you, he was saying that sometimes it's a lawful pre-existing use, often referred to as grandfather status. But his notes are with limitation to grandfathered status and the use. If the use were to be abandoned for 1 calendar year, that use would be extinguished. Whereas asking for the use variance now, it does not expire, it runs with the land.
Exactly. Which is why, on the advice of a couple of people I talked with at the county and, you know, Kathy and so forth, that's why we asked for the use variance.
But the one proof that you might need, the first criteria is the dollars and cents proof form. So you might want to talk to the current owner or the estate and find out, what are each unit renting for.
I have all that.
You do. mean,
I have the rents and the rent, I mean, it's listed for sale, so all that is
I mean, would
available.
that help the board if the applicant came back, or do you think you never know?
I feel allowing this to
Okay.
move forward.
I feel like some of the economic data is self-evident, so I would be okay with this.
They're definitely low rents compared to where they could be. So if you want to talk about affordable housing and their long-term residents who, the previous owner who's passed away didn't, jack up the rents like crazy. There's a HUD resident there who is absolutely very comfortable in her space and has been there for several years. It's been inspected by the HUD, the usual process where the HUD inspector comes and makes sure everything's okay.
I don't think it's in the city's interest to take residential properties off the roll, or whatever we would call it. We need as many apartments as we can get.
And I really can't for my entire life remember that property being any different than what it looks like right now.
Yeah.
Parking looks a little rough, but
Wow.
Well, that's where a potential buyer, if I were going to buy it, I would appeal to the people in the empty Adirondack Radiology building to rent me 4 spots. They're right there. They're right there. Or something. I mean, I don't know what a future owner will do or ask for. But I spoke with another agent today who wants to, now that it's back on the market, wants to see it and so forth. And I said, you really ought to buy the Adirondack Radiology building and make it into apartments because, we need them.
I suppose we'll see that at some point.
You might.
Is tabling this an option? Looking for other options? Looking for other
If you
avenues?
feel you need more information, you can table it, or if you feel you're ready to go based upon the application before you certainly can do that.
I'd be okay with
I'm not making all of it. I mean, it's, I guess the only thing, it looked a little shameful, but the parents, is there, somebody's gonna have to upkeep it, right?
Well, it's not falling down or in bad repair, but it's not updated and beautiful either. None of the apartments have granite countertop. They're not $1,200 one-bedroom apartments like some people are, developing in the area. We need more of the ones that are, not horrible, but livable. They don't have dishwashers. They're not luxury apartments at all, but they're not falling apart or anything. It's been well maintained. The utilities are in great shape. Things like that.
Discussion board. I personally do not that I don't support this project and agree with everyone about housing. I don't feel that a use variance is the appropriate method to achieve this, so I will be abstaining from this vote if anyone else would like to make a motion.
Well, let's do seeker first, if that's okay. So I would classify this, because it's a use variance, as an unlisted action. And the applicant has provided part 1 of the short form, and we have to read and answer questions to part 2, the impact assessment. So will the proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulation? No? Is that no? Everyone has to answer no.
No.
Will the proposed action result in a change in the use or intensity of the use of the land? No.
No.
Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community?
No.
No. Will the proposed action have an impact on the environmental characteristics caused by the establishment of a critical environmental area?
No.
No. Will the proposed action result in an adverse change in the existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or walkway?
No.
No. Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities? No. Will the proposed action impact existing public-private water supplies?
No.
No. Public-private wastewater treatment utilities?
No.
No. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of an important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources?
No.
No. Will the proposed action result in an adverse change to natural resources such as wetlands, water bodies, groundwater, air quality, flora, or fauna?
No.
Will the proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems? No. Will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or human health?
No.
No. So by answering all of those questions in the negative, the board, when doing their motion, could issue a negative declaration for the use variance. And you all have that motion.
I'll make the motion. If you want to read it, you guys, you guys can read it right in.
Did you put one?
So with respect to the seeker motion, Mr. Van Gilder, are you saying that you'd like to make a motion that the Glens Falls zoning board of appeals hereby accepts lead agency status for
Tax map.
the estate of Richard Avery, of the project located at 11.5 First Street, tax map 309.12, block 1, lot 18. The board has determined the action to be unlisted, has reviewed the short form environmental assessment form, and upon the documentation and discussion issues a negative declaration.
Correct.
That's your motion?
That's what I.
Okay.
We have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
All
Abstain.
opposed?
Oppose.
All right, so your seeker is done.
Right, need a motion on.
The area, the use variance, I'm sorry.
Variance, I'm sorry. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Well, for your use variance, you want to go through your criteria. So, Mr. Van Gilder, are you stating you'd like to make a motion that the Glens Falls zoning board of appeals hereby grant the application for the use variance for the project identified as estate of Richard Avery, Janet DeMano on behalf of David Avery, owner of tax map number 309.12-1-18, commonly known as 11.5 First Street, for the use variance to continue the current multifamily use where only single and two-family residential uses are allowed. And at tonight's meeting, May 15th, 2023, and the board has determined that the applicant cannot realize a reasonable return and the lack of return is substantial, that the hardship relating to the property is unique and does not apply to a substantial portion of the district or neighborhood. The board has determined that this property has been used as a multifamily for at least 30 years, that the requested use variance will not alter the essential character of the neighborhood. As stated, it's been used as a multifamily for in excess of 30 years, as identified through the property records, and the hardship has not been self-created, as the applicant or the estate assumed the property already being used as a four-family. Is that your motion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I abstain.
Did Mr. Hines vote?
Yes.
Yes. So you needed 4 to carry, and you have 4, so your motion is granted.
Thank you very much.
Interestingly, this property was owned by a great uncle of my wife's in 1915 and 1920.
Oh, and who's that?
Just noticed that from the picture.
Moses Metzner.
Okay.
Grocer.
Well, thank him for me, but how long ago was it?
1915, 1920.
Is there anything else that I need to do? Okay,
No.
thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Make a motion.
Well,